AITA for leaving in the middle of the vacation because my boyfriend's mom tried to sleep in our bed. My BF Paul and I have been dating for a year. His mom is intrusive AF but calls herself the protector. She'd insert herself in literally everything when it comes to Paul. Paul does notice her behavior, but says he's learning to set boundaries with time. She invited me to join her family to go on a vacation. I agreed, though I still had to pay anyways. We went together, and this entire time she kept following me and Paul everywhere, preventing us from being alone. I complained, but she reminded me that this is a family vacation, not a romantic getaway. So fast forward to day 2 at night. At 1 a.m. Paul and I were already in bed when we heard loud knocking on the door. Paul stayed in bed and I went to open the door and found his mom in her nightgown. I asked if I could help and she told me she couldn't sleep in her room after constantly hearing weird noises. I said, well, did you check with the staff to see what it was? She said no, then acted scared and said that room was probably haunted and she wanted to spend the night with us. Before I could respond, she immediately rushed to my side of bed and got in. Paul asked her what happened and she told him about the ghosts, then asked if it was okay if she slept with us. I was baffled. He said yes, but I got angry and repeatedly said WTF. She told me I could sleep with them or go sleep in her room if I wanted a bed or sleep on the floor. Paul was okay with all those options, but I blew up and told them how fucked up that was and said that I was no longer intending on continuing this trip from hell. Then I started packing. Paul yelled at me after he failed to convince me to stay. I went to hotel, spent the rest of the night there, then got on the first flight home. He never stopped trying to contact me via Viber, WhatsApp and Facebook after I refused to return his phone calls. He texted me a bunch saying that I should have stayed and not made a joke out of him and spoiled the whole thing for his family. When I pointed out how inappropriate his mom's behavior was, he called me nuts to think that mom was being inappropriate. Moreover, he said that I have been twisted mentally and view on his innocent relationship with his mom. He wants me to fix this mistake once they get back, but I haven't replied. Story 2. AITA demanding my husband to pay back the money that he'd been secretly taking as rent from my disabled sister who's living with us. My F30 sister F23 is disabled. She can't work because of her immobility, but receives benefits due to her disability. She used to live with our mom who passed away 8 months ago. It had been hard for us. I took my sister in to live with me and my husband. Note that my husband doesn't take any part of her care whatsoever. Moreover, he started complaining about my sister from time to time. She cannot get her own place and I would never, and I repeat never ever, put her in a care home. I work and take care of her and it's been going well for us. My husband is the one usually handles her financials because he's an accountant. I recently noticed that her benefits money wasn't enough to buy her essential stuff like medical equipment. I didn't much of it till I decided to do the math and found hundreds going missing without an explanation. I talked to my sister and she kept implying that my husband had something to do with it till she finally admitted that he'd been collecting rent money from her and told her to keep it a secret from me. I was floored, utterly in shock. I called him and had him come home for a confrontation. He first denied it, then said that it was logical because my sister is an adult living under our roof and so she's expected to pay rent. I screamed my head off on him, telling him how fucked up that was because she's disabled and this money's supposed to go to her care. And more importantly, he shouldn't have ever touched her money. I demanded he pay back all the money he took from her over the past months. He threw a fit saying it's his house, and he gets to say who stays for free and who has to pay. I told him he had to pay it all back or police would have to get involved. He looked shocked at the mention of police and rushed out. He tried to talk me out of making him pay, but I gave him a set time and told him I'm serious. Story 3. AITA for not allowing my cousin to announce her pregnancy at my baby shower for my rainbow baby. This is one thing that you read about on Facebook and think there is no way people actually act like this until it happens to you. My husband and I are finally expecting our rainbow baby after years of infertility and multiple miscarriages. It's safe to say we and our family are very freaking excited. My mother is probably the most excited. She's been planning our baby shower and making decorations for months. She's been the biggest help during this exciting, yet scary pregnancy. A few weeks ago, my aunt told my mother and I that my cousin is pregnant. We are very happy for her. However, my aunt said their plan is to announce her pregnancy at my baby shower, since we are having a big party anyways. She said it's not a big deal and we both can share the day. I said absolutely not, because we have been waiting for this day forever, and it should be all about me and my rainbow baby. My mother is on my side and told my aunt that they better not announce anything at the party. My aunt dropped it, and nothing else was ever said. Last said it was my baby shower. It was everything I've waited for. Everything is going good. No one has announced my cousin's pregnancy. When it was time for us to eat my cake, my aunt said, hold on everyone," and went outside to her car to grab something. That was the moment I knew something was up. My mother and I follow her outside, and my aunt decided to bring a cake announcing my cousin's pregnancy. and some presents for my cousin. My mother immediately told my aunt that she will not be bringing those back into the rec center, and they will not be ruining my day. My aunt started throwing a fit, screaming, "This is a baby shower. It's for babies. Cousin is having a baby too, so this day is about her too." My cousin now joins the screaming and says how pissed off she is that everything is always about me and why do we always have to be happy for me. They would not stop screaming, so they were kicked out by the rec center's security. And half our family was upset that I wouldn't let her have a moment at my shower, so they left too. Now everyone is bashing my mother, myself, and Rainbow Baby on Facebook, group family texts, anything at all. So Reddit, was I the asshole for not allowing my cousin to announce her pregnancy at my Rainbow Baby's shower? If